What is up, guys, and welcome back. We are talking about some more information about Subnautica Below Zero. It did go into open development now, and we can see what is on the Trello, which has revealed quite a bit about the game and about what they are focusing on. Alright guys, so the first creature we're going to talk about is the Arctic Peeper. It is the same shape overall of the first Peeper, but color is different. And from the looks of it, it will have a bioluminescence effect on it, like the tips on the end of it look like it might glow, so that'd be pretty cool. After the Arctic Peeper, we have the Brine Wing. The Brine Wing has an unusual attack, super cool. Saline, expelled from its mouth at high speed, creates a snap freezing brinicle. Keep the supercritical temperatures. The Brinewing uses its fin wings as heat exchanging radiators. So that looks pretty cool. There's an example of it shooting a peeper, an old peeper. So that's pretty interesting. Obviously, it will probably attack us, so that will be something we'll have to worry about. The next creature is a ray of some sort. It is just a concept art, and besides that, we don't really have anything else. Also remember, guys, that all of this can change at any time. The creatures can be cut or never entered into the game or change colors, models, everything. So the next one is called the Snow Stalker, and there are 3 different versions for sure. I believe there might be a 4th one out there, but I couldn't find a picture. So these are the 3 versions. It's basically the Stalker, but it's on land, so it's kind of like a polar bear. I honestly like F the most. It's like the most simplest version, but if it swims, I don't know. I wish its tail would be like a fin more, kind of like A. But, you know, that's just my opinion. So, after checking out the Snow Stalkers, the next thing we have is the next Leviathan. This Leviathan, besides the Squid Shark one we talked about in the last video, this is another one. A lot of people are comparing it to a shrimp. And as you can see, there is a white silhouette of a character, so you can see the size of it. It's pretty interesting Leviathan. I'm not honestly sure how I feel about it. I like the colors. The front part of it is interesting. I guess I would really have to see how it interacts with the characters and the player, because the Reaper was such a impact in the game because of like how it grabbed you and how it grabbed your sea moth and, like, you know, tore you apart and whatnot, and it was really cool, and that made that interaction so neat. And if this one is just going to like just chomp down on you and not have a unique interaction, I feel like it would suffer, but I don't know. It's still looking pretty cool. Alright, so the next creature we have actually has a sketchfab model of it, so we can see some more detail on it. Not sure what this thing is. I believe its name is the Tri-Valve, and no idea about it, no information. If you guys do know anything, let me know on all of this, to be honest. Try and catch up. So, it looks pretty neat, though. On to the next one that also is part of the Sketchfab, is probably my favorite creature so far that we've seen going to be into the game. And this creature, I have found out, is actually going to be in the lily pad biome. And it fits pretty well, and I'm really happy with that. I really like how it looks. It reminds me a lot of a seahorse and the one Pokemon called like Dragula. So I'm really interested to see how we will interact with this creature. So the next 2 that we got are also on Sketchfab, and they are the penguins. Now there are adult penguins and there are baby penguins. From the concept arts, they really haven't changed at all, and we don't really have a size comparison in the Sketchfab model previews, so unfortunately we don't know how big they will be. We don't know if they're like waist high or lower, but they're looking pretty cool, and I'm actually happy. I feel like the penguins will be more of a mascot in this than, like, let's say the peeper. I don't think we'll ever replace the peeper, to be honest, but the penguins are probably going to be a close second. After the penguins, we have this big guy, and I'm actually really happy about this. The glow whale now has a model on Sketchfab. I'm really happy that the developers are taking stuff that they've either had an idea for or worked on in the past and implementing into this. It gives them more time to work on other things that can enhance the game or the gameplay and give us more as players, and I'm super happy to see them doing that. This thing also looks really cool, so I'm happy about that. Alright guys, so the next thing we have to talk about is the Snow Fox. The Snow Fox is a hover bike. Besides that, don't really know much. I know there will be more land or ice in this one, so more surface area for us to walk around in than the original Subnautica. So my assumption is that since we're getting a hover bike, there's going to be quite a bit of more surface area to travel, obviously, since we're getting a hover bike. At least that's my thought process. Otherwise, I don't see why they would be adding it. And it also doesn't look like it has any storage compartments or anything like that. So it's purely for travel. Now, obviously, this could change, and we could have modules like in the Seamoth to add storage and whatnot, which would be cool. So that's all I got on this Snow Fox right now. The next thing we're going to talk about is the cold. Obviously, we are in an Arctic biome, and the cold will be a factor in the gameplay. I've seen multiple screenshots from in-game where it shows the temperature or the weather, and you need to monitor it. And this is a cold suit that we will have to make, kind of like the thermal suit from the first one, where when you went down in lava, it protected you. You can also see in the bottom right one where, like, on the mask, it has the frozen effect. I'm guessing that's how our HUD will look if we are really cold and suffering from that. I don't know for sure, but that's my assumption. Alright guys, the next thing I have to show you is a Precursor base concept art. It looks pretty cool. As you can see, the player model's there, so it's quite huge, as the Precursor bases have always been. We do also have a screenshot in game of the Precursor base, so that's looking really cool. We do have another concept art that was just released today of the player looking at some flora, and as we can see, it's above surface. And before anybody says it, no, it is not a mesmer plant. That is directly from the developer Abraxas. It is not a mesmer plant, but it is looking pretty cool. So after that concept art, we have a bunch of what I would call quality of life things to talk about. The first one is base coloring, and this is kind of what I talked about earlier, how they're using old things so they can improve on the game. Like, all the base models are the same, so that way they don't have to go through and make all new models, because it's, you know, basically the same game. So now they can enhance that stuff. So now we have base coloring. We also have base naming, so you can name your bases. We also have base lighting, where you can turn on and off certain parts of your base to conserve energy, which is really cool. And part of turning on the lights and turning them off is the control room. The control room does a bunch. As you can see of these two screenshots I took from one of the developer videos, it tells you your structural integrity, tells you your power status, how much power you have, and it tells you how much you're using and how much you're gaining. In the screenshot, it says we have half of a power and we're using 0 power. If you add a structure onto your base, or if you add a solar panel, it will then update and tell you how much power you're getting then and how much you're using. In the screenshot on the right, you can also see that it shows weather. It has the inside of the temperature, and it has forecast for the weather, and it has the weather outside. Currently it says it's currently unavailable, so I'm going to assume that we need some type of equipment upgrade, so that way it will tell us the weather and the temperature seems to be huge in this one, which I'm kind of excited for. I just hope it doesn't make the survival aspect too much. I almost didn't show this video, but it's pretty interesting to me. So the first thing I want to point out is on the left, it has the temperature and weather and your body temperature. Like I mentioned before, weather will be a huge thing. But this is an item or equipment that looks like it's going to be added to the game. It is a deployable drill. So you'll find an ore in the world and you'll be able to put a deployable drill on it, and it will drill it and give you the resource. I'm hoping that it will give you more than one resource. If it replaces like the sandstone and the basalt outcroppings you used to break and you just get one resource for using this drill, I don't think that's worth. I think it should be something where you put it on this huge mineral and then it just continually grinds. Maybe it gives you like 3 or 5, you know, balance it, do your things, developers. But I think if it just gives you 1, then it wouldn't be worth it. But we'll see. It looks like a really cool concept though. Now this is probably the most exciting thing that I've seen in the videos from it, and this is the sea truck. The sea truck is basically what's replacing the sea moth, and it almost looks like an underwater jetpack. You man it and it doesn't look like there's much space in there. The model has been updated and it looks really sweet. You can also connect it to other attachments. I don't know what these attachments are called, but you can make basically a train with the sea truck and just keep expanding. How much? I don't know. As you can see in the video, there is a thing called engine efficiency, and as you add more units to your sea truck, it takes that efficiency down and it separates it between all of the units. But it's looking pretty cool, and I'm excited to see what direction they're going to go with it. There is a part in the video where it shows you backing up and it shows a camera, which is a really cool feature, so that way you can attach the units easily. Now, there is actually 2 videos of the sea truck. There really isn't much of a difference between the 2, except for at the end of the second one, there is something very important that I wanted to show you guys. And at the end of it, you can see a little guy in the corner right before the developer quits, and it is the rock puncher. I'm not sure if they have been renamed. I'm going to assume that their terraforming abilities of what they were supposed to do will be removed, but besides the fact that it is in the game currently, I don't know anything. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I know some of this information is old, but I wanted to make sure I had enough to make a decent sized video and not just have a 2-minute video here and there. And as the game gets updated more and more, I will try to bring out more videos. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to see future content on Subnautica Below Zero, please subscribe so that way you can do so. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.